Hello and welcome to Exploited Crimes and Technology. My name is Opal Singleton and I am the host of your show. We come to you every Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock right here on AM 590, The Answer. Well, I've been away for about 10 days and I'm not really sure what I'm going to do this show about. I did a whole thing. I wrote it all out. I researched it all, and now my head's going in a different direction. So we'll see about that. But what an incredible last 10 days that I have had. And maybe I'll just take a little time first and share that with you. You know, I spent the last 6 years trying to raise the funding for a film that we wanted to get out and get into schools across America. And as it's turned out, this film is far beyond my wildest dreams, far beyond it. And we actually were included in the Santa Barbara Film Festival. We were in the jury group. We did not win, and that's all right with me. There was a film that won that was really, really well done. Ours is really, really well done. But what a pleasure to get to spend the week that I got to spend this last week. And before I go into my prepared kind of thing, I just want to share with you what my week was like, because first of all, without all of you and those of you who support us financially, this could never have happened. I am in no position to create a film by myself. And it has been an interesting journey. I'm a nonprofit, not just me, by the way. I say I, like it's all me. It is absolutely not. We have Dina that puts all the stuff together and packages it. She runs RCDL Enterprises, and Chris Kleiss that does all of our social media through Kleiss Media, and a young lady by the name of Nancy Aguirre that is probably one of the smartest people I've ever met. And she does presentations and helps me out here because I'm getting old and I can't be going out putting 5,000 miles a month on my car all the time like I am now, or have been for the last 10 years. But as over the last 10 years, and it's actually been 12 now, I've sat with hundreds and hundreds of parents and kids. And I just said, this is so insane that this is happening, and it's happening in such big numbers, and nobody is paying attention to it. But when it happens to you in your family or your child or your grandchild, it just permeates the entire family. And what I mean by when it happens, it is when they send a naked photo or they fall in love online and are sure this is their one and only, and they get bamboozled. Or maybe they sneak out and meet up with them, and the next thing you know, they're violated. They've been raped, or they're sneaking off. And I'm going to do an entire chapter in my next book, which is about 85% done now, be called Sextortion, the Global Crisis. And it will be a downloadable book. As soon as I get it done, I'll let you know about it. But one of the trends I'm seeing in that is the fact that these kids go out and find a way, even 11-year-old kids. We just had another one, 11 years old, and she was raped, and you just, your heart sinks. 11, she hasn't even completed puberty. And it's all because she met up with somebody and she couldn't tell her folks what she had decided to do. Sometimes they start cutting, sometimes they get all upset. Sometimes they run away, sometimes they sneak out, sometimes they commit suicide, sometimes they are murdered. And it's just an insane kind of thing going on that so few people talk about. There's thousands. Well, I'm exaggerating. Okay, forgive me. But there are a lot of movies out there on human trafficking, and I care deeply about human trafficking. Million Kids is the training and outreach coordinator for the Riverside County Anti-Human Trafficking Task Force, and they handle all kinds of trafficking cases here in the Inland Empire. And it's very, very important that we understand that does take place right here in our community. And it's often taking place with our young people. By the way, while I have it right here in front of me, I'm going to give you the non-emergency dispatch number for the Riverside County Sheriff Department, 951-776-1099. I'll give you that again later. But if you know of somebody who is being trafficked or sextorted, meaning they're being blackmailed or they're being put out into forced prostitution or being lured into it and suddenly they're disappearing, that's where you would report that to, 951-776-1099. I often talk about Sheriff Bianco and DA Mike Hester, and they are absolutely united in this fight of saving our kids and setting up the sex crimes unit, the RSET. Crimes Unit, and also the RCAT, which is Riverside County Human Trafficking Task Force. And I help represent those people. I go out, I do trainings, and I do a lot online. And now we want to, Million Kids, working with my group for Million Kids, wants to release a movie that helps kids understand, number one, where naked photos go online and why you don't want to send one. This week, our movie, by the way, has just been crazier than I ever thought it could be. I am dying to let it release, but we can't do that yet because we're in negotiations with live streamers, like Netflix and people like that. But I'm ready. The minute they say go, trust me, you'll never hear the end of it from me because this film is really, really powerful. One of the people in the film is a young lady by the name of Erin Burke. And what a sharp young lady she is. She's Irish, by the way, since it's Irish Week. And so she's redheaded and she is smart and she is the head of Homeland Security's Internet Crimes Against Children's Task Force. And I am her biggest fan because she, this last year, fielded 29 million leads on child sex crimes. That's the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. 29 million leads. Do you have any idea how big that is? There are only something like 44 million teenagers in America. Now, these are global leads, of course, coming in from child pornography rings. You see, when a kid is lured into sending a naked photo, what they don't know is it is not that gorgeous hunk on the other end. It's some nasty pedophile in his mom's basement, or it could be somebody who is extremely accomplished, including pastors and pediatricians and school teachers. There are all kinds of people that play these games online. They get kids to send a naked photo. Why are they doing that? It is because there are global pedophile rings now operating in the dark web. One of them they took down recently had 1 million paid subscribers on it. That means if your child's connected with one of those people in that ring, where does their photo go? It goes to a pedophile who's part of a ring who buys, sells, and trades those photos. If your child hooks up with one of the people in Welcome to Video before it got taken down, your child's photo went out to 1 million people in the blink of an eye. And they are there, buy, sell, trading it, and drooling over your child's photo, and they will never be able to get that back. And that's why I wanted a movie. And that's why I beat my head against the wall to raise all the funding I can to get this movie around the world. When you have 29 million leads on child sex crimes, most of them related to the internet, that is called exactly what our movie is called, and that is Sextortion, the Hidden Pandemic. If you want to see the trailer's out now. You can see that at a website called sextortionfilm.com. Sextortionfilm.com. Film.com. Million Kids is the executive producer on it, along with Giving University. We came together. They had a lot more money than I did. They are absolutely holy saint people. I love them to death. And together, this has come together with Auroras Media in a powerful way that I just can't wait to release. But one of the things that happened to me this week is I got to hang out with sex crime investigators from all over California and all over the United States. What an incredible group of human beings. You can't even imagine what they must go through when they investigate these crimes. My name is Opal Singleton, and this is Exploited Crimes and Technology. So we're up against that break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Listen up, folks. You no longer have to drive out of the IE for a great restaurant experience. The Toasted Barrel, an upscale casual steakhouse located in Corona, has been winning award after award for their great diverse menu, service, ambience, wine, and cocktails. Customers call the Barrel the perfect date night. Inland Empire Magazine has awarded them Best Restaurant 4 years in a row. Wine Spectator recognized the Toasted Barrel's wine program for their award of excellence. Toasted Barrel is famous for their certified Angus beef, prime, Wagyu, and Kobe steaks, and they have some of the best pasta and seafood around. With happy hour and daily specials every day of the week, their appetizers and drink selections are the best around. Live music starts every Friday and Saturday at 5:30. Planning a dinner party, wedding rehearsal, family gathering, or holiday party? Look up Toasted Barrel online and make your reservation today.
Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology. I want to tell you about a book I wrote called Seduced, The Grooming of America's Teenagers. It's all about how predators access, groom, recruit, and exploit our young people using social media, online gaming, video chat rooms. Technology is changing at the speed of light, and we have to understand how to keep our kids safe from predators. So you can get this book by going to www.millionkids.org. It's $16. I'll sign it and I'll ship it to you personally. We hope that you will order this book, educate yourself about how to keep our kids safe in this day of changing technology. Join us each Saturday for our radio show at Exploited Crimes and Technology at 3 o'clock on AM 590, The Answer.
Real estate sales in the Inland Empire are really hot. Sellers and buyers recognize that these low interest rates will not last. Sean and Colleen at Caldwell Banker Armstrong Properties in Riverside are proud to sponsor this show. They are the best in the Inland Empire. They're fair, honest, creative, and they care about you and your situation. If you're in the market to buy or sell a home, call Sean and Colleen at 951-529-4066.
AM 590, The Answer.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. This is Opal Singleton. I'm the privileged person to get to lead this organization of Million Kids. I'm also so very grateful for all the support people that make this happen. You know, my role is to research it. I've researched tens of thousands of documents over the last 12 years and maybe try to put it in some sort of organized fashion. I've often thought, and I really had time to speculate this week since I spent quite a bit of time away from the desk here. And thank you for letting me run reruns last week because I needed to be at those programs up in Santa Barbara. But as I've looked at it, the thing that has made Million Kids different than so many organizations out there, and believe me, we need those organizations. It's just not our calling, okay? There are many organizations out there that are victim service providers. Riverside, San Bernardino County have some of the best victim service providers of anybody in the nation for human trafficking victims. Some of them come to mind. Case is one, Open Door out of San Bernardino County. And San Bernardino County has a crackerjack team of people over there combating trafficking, and especially Fontana Police Department. Shout out there to Corporal Guth and Chief Green. Just think the world of those folks over there and their dog Goose. But we have a dog. Our dog is is Chewy. I think our dog's better than their dog. No, they're all important. But in our group out in Riverside, we have Rebirth Homes. We have CASA, which is now Reach. We have Operation Safe House, Run to Rescue. Out in the desert, they have the Barbara Sinatra Center that does forensics investigations. All of those people play a role once we get a case. So the way that it works is usually I go out and first of all, I research. And, I look at lots of things. I don't just look at sex or labor trafficking or minor trafficking or escort services, various kinds of prostitution that is out there. But I also consider things like sextortion and social media exploitation and foreign national trafficking when these unaccompanied minors are brought up and into our community. I mean, that happened. I talked about it about 4 or 5 months ago. Big case right out of Colton and Riverside and San Bernardino called the Paredes family case. And girls were recruited by a grandmother out of Mexico and snuck in with a coyote. They owe coyotes money, and they are being put into massage parlors and even skincare shops. And all the money they earn, even though they may have 8, 10, 15 customers a night, and you know what I'm talking about, Mom and Dad, we're not going to get blunt here, but that money all goes back to the Mexican cartel in Mexico, and it was being laundered through a dress shop in Colton. And so we look at all of these cases. I look at money laundering. I looked at cryptocurrency and what's about to happen. We hear President Biden now starting to talk about cryptocurrency. Well, it's about darn time, but it's probably happening because we have extremely high inflation and the amount of gold behind the dollar is going down, down, down. And so now suddenly we're going to go to crypto. China's had crypto for a year and a half, and they're trying to tie it to WhatsApp. In our case, Facebook wanted to tie it to Libra or Diem, and our country would not allow that. I'm not saying that's bad or good. I'm just saying wouldn't happen. But I've studied all of that so that we can train you, the public, about how this all affects crimes and crime solving. So once I see a case, I analyze that case, and then I make it into something called Million Kids Insider Alerts. Now, if you want to receive these, there's no charge. We don't sell your name. You just simply go to millionkids.org. That's MILLION, kids, KIDS.org, not .com. That's a rock band, okay? You want .org, millionkids.org, and sign up for these insider alerts. And what you'll see is that I analyze a variety of kinds of cases. I've got one right now that I'm getting ready to do. I'm behind because I've been to Santa Barbara. But it was of a young girl who ended up taking her own life because she was sextorted by a 23-year-old man. This was not his only victim. He had already been charged. It took 9 years, by the way, to get the sentence on it. It was a federal sentence. But in the meantime, he had already been sextorting, meaning blackmailing, 4 other girls who were only 12 to 16. In this case, this girl was only 11. He harassed her so much over 2 days, rather than to tell a parent, she took her own life. And I want people to understand that. So I analyze the cases. I talk about new legislation. We talk about the changes in technology. We talk about CSAM, child sexual abuse material. That used to be called child pornography, but if you use that word on Facebook, they take you down. So, but I will train you about all of that for free simply by signing up. And it's a way of you getting more information on these kinds of things. And so Dina, once I put all the story together and I record it and package it, I send it over to Dina and she packages it up. That's her corporation does that, RCDL. And they make that into a pliable story, which is then sent off to our social media firm that we contract with, which is Clice Media. And they get that out around the world so that you can be trained and be trained for free. So I'm very, very fortunate to work with a team of people who understand how important this is. Now, back to the movie. That has allowed me the time to understand just how prolific this is and just how naive our parents and our teachers are and our school officials. Now, before we start beating on them, let me just tell you that it is my experience in Riverside and San Bernardino County that teachers care, and they care a lot, and especially on the subjects of trafficking and sextortion. And so I will often train them. I'm about to do it again this afternoon by the hundreds, and they actually give you the time to do that. So many schools across California will give you 20 minutes. I won't do it in 20 minutes. If that's all you want to know, I'm not interested. I'm looking for people who want to understand this to be able to help a child and save a child. And these folks out of Riverside in San Bernardino County want to do that. And so that is a lot of our work, is that I want people to understand these crimes, especially the crime of sextortion. So over the last 6 years, we've raised the money. We have a movie. And I think what I was going to go into some of the bills and legislation, but what I really want to do in the next 15 minutes or so as we go up against a break and come back again is I just want to share with you about the human side of child sex crime investigators. I've had a tremendous opportunity over the last month. Now, keep in mind, I've known a lot of these folks because I'm a post-certified first responder trainer. That means peace officers standardized training. And most civilians don't get to do that. But it is the focus of all my research, and I've been very, very blessed to do it. I've traveled all over the United States. I'm talking to Evanston, Wyoming right now. We'll see how that turns out, but that's a good place if you want to go and play the ponies. That's what they do in Evanston, trust me. But anyway, but Lenexa, Kansas, and Butler, Pennsylvania, and Anchorage, Alaska, and half of Wyoming, and Mesa, Arizona, and Joplin, Missouri, and on and on and on. And I've trained a lot of law enforcement. So when I hear this stuff out there about law enforcement doesn't care and they won't listen, and, I try to tell them that my child's being abused and they won't listen, that is not the experience I have with law enforcement, especially in Riverside and San Bernardino County. I am so proud to work with someone like Chad Bianco, and I don't think he listens to the show, and I probably doesn't know I say this. I mean, it isn't like I see him regularly, but I see his work. When I study cases across America, I see which chiefs of police are doing great and which ones aren't. That's how I came to know Chief Green, by the way. I know him by his work because he runs one solid ICAC unit out of Fontana. Internet crimes against children. They're specialists at it. And the same way with Homeland Security out of San Bernardino. They are very good at it. And I see their work. And I want to share that with you, what it's like to work with them over the next few minutes. So we're up against that break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Societal Shift, A World Without Borders and a Home Without Walls. This is the most important book you will read this year, especially if you have children or grandchildren. We are living at the most important time in all of history. In 2020, the entire world will be connected by internet, more than 6 billion people coming together. Technology will provide many great advantages for our kids, but a world without borders for our kids is also a world without borders for pimps, predators, pedophiles, cartels, and organized crime. It is a home without walls because 87% of the kids sleep with their phone. It is the greatest societal experiment of all time. Our kids are technology geniuses, and their parents are technophobic. Some are techno-impotent. New apps come with no warnings on how a predator will use them against our kids. Advancing technologies like encrypted messaging, vaporware, artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, and the darknet will challenge law enforcement, teachers, and parents to keep kids safe. Recent research states that 9,000 kids a day are being blackmailed with a naked photo, and 58% will meet their predator. It is indeed a societal shift, and one in which most parents are unprepared. If you are a parent or grandparent, teacher, counselor, or social worker, please take time to read Societal Shift, Only $18.99 plus $6 shipping. Order today at millionkids.org. That's millionkids, millionkids.org. It'll be the greatest gift you can give your family and yourself. Order Societal Shift today. Million Kids takes checks and credit cards. Opal Singleton, the author, will personally sign the book and send it to you. Again, go to millionkids.org and order Societal Shift today. Join Million Kids. Keep our kids safe from predators.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. This is Opal Singleton, and I just wanted to share about, I'm still aglow of the last week of my life. And that I was just saying to my producer, that's pretty amazing, because when I read the news and I see what's happening in Ukraine, my heart bleeds. My heart bleeds when I see that. The reason I've been in a nonprofit for now since 2008 here in the United States for the last 12 years is because I care. I care about other people, and so do you. And, time and again, we've seen Americans go absolutely to the ends of the earth to save each other. And that's how I got caught up into human trafficking and sextortion. People say, how did this happen? You're retired. Yeah, I know, I'm retired. I'm trying to be retired. It just never seems to work out for me. But, I had a case once in 2012, and I'm not going to get real graphic with it because it's private. It's somebody else's life, and we need confidentiality. But a beautiful young teenage girl at one of our best high schools in Riverside was approached by another girl. And we were all at that point in our life in 2012. We thought that, this only had to do with illegal folks, undocumented. I guess that's not a good word these days. Tells you my age. Undocumented people out maybe in the out in the desert or somewhere. And we're working that angle when we suddenly find out this beautiful young girl trusted another girl. Well, I now know that 60% of our girls are recruited by another girl. And it's usually a gang girl that they place in high schools. This is why I train in high schools. And they will recruit this girl without the girl understanding that's happening. It might be a slower thing where they develop friends, or it might be in a couple of days where they just simply turn them over to a gang and they are taken over to LA or Bakersfield or Merced or Fresno or one of those places, Oakland, and they are then broken and then put out into trafficking. And they never quite understood what happened. And since 2012, I've been doing this kind of work. So when I see what's happening in Ukraine, my heart bleeds. I got involved because I care about other people. And it just gets to me when I see what's our bottom line and how many people are going to have to be killed. And I understand that something we're going to do will escalate it. But the truth is, if you don't have a bottom line when you go into negotiation, you're going to lose. And you better know your bottom line and be willing to deal with it. And we don't have that as far as I can tell. Well, I digress because I got off on Ukraine. And I want to just talk now about the week that I had as we were promoting our film up in Santa Barbara. You see, it's amazing how God worked on this film. I never could have done any of the stuff that God has delivered. Even in my wildest dreams, I wouldn't even have had the biggest imagination to know what to ask for. Because we chose a producer that instead of being in Hollywood, praise God we didn't go to Hollywood with the Screen Actors Guild and all the craziness going on over there and the sex workers union trying to legalize street prostitution in California. And they are very close, by the way. I divert on that, but I'll just tell you that. SB 357 is signed and in the can. The only thing we need, or they need, I don't want that bill, is for Newsom to sign it, Governor Newsom to sign it. And it's all past the assembly and like that. And it just makes you so angry because it's called the California Safe Streets Act. California safe streets are not going to be safe if they legalize street prostitution. And by the way, it doesn't say whether you're selling or buying or pimping. It doesn't say that. It just legalizes street and car prostitution, SB 357. And we've been fighting it and fighting it, fighting it. It passed the assembly the night of Friday before the recall election of Governor Newsom, and they're trying to find the right time to sign it. By the way, there is money in there for an organization, two of them, one out of Oakland and another one out of LA. The one out of LA is called CAS, Coalition Against Slavery and Trafficking. And there is money in there for them to do victim services, but not the others. I'm getting around to what I was going to tell you about, and then I'm going to come back and tell you about my week. But along with that now, even though that bill's in a can and Newsom has not signed it, okay, but he is going to, now they have a new one coming up behind it called AB 2553. That is sponsored by CAS, Coalition to Abolish Slavery and Trafficking. It is called the California Multidisciplinary Alliance to Stop Trafficking Act. They must sit around in a bar getting plastered making this stuff up. The California Safe Streets Act and the Multidisciplinary Alliance to Stop Trafficking Act. Don't all of those sound wonderful? Well, they're not wonderful because all of this will put the control in one or two organizations across the state of California while they're legalizing street prostitution and then patting themselves on the back about all the people they're going to save from trafficking. And in the meantime, there's a whole lot of money in behind all of this connected to the ACLU. So be careful of those acts. Now, you can't change SB 357 right now. You can go to the governor if you're not busy and just remind them that you're really against SB 357 and don't sign it. But we can begin to fight this one where they're going to try to create a task force, a state task force for human trafficking. That sounds absolutely lovely, but it is not. What it is a power play by a small group of very large group organizations that want to control all the money instead of having all the fine victim services that you have. So along with that, I got that off my chest. That's really where I was going to go on this, is the misinformation related to trafficking and all those acts that are out there and how they sit around and make up these great names all the time. They're doing absolutely the opposite. And it just gets frustrating to me to work in a business where we need to do everything we can to protect people. And I guess that I'm just really beside myself when I see this kind of thing. So this last week, our movie was made. And in the end, it has been made, and it was in Santa Barbara Film Festival. In the end, it was filmed inside of Homeland Security's ICAC unit, Internet Crimes Against Children. Most people have no idea that Homeland Security are just simply amazing people at being able to track pedophiles out of the dark web and be able to find those people that are blackmailing your child because they were seduced into sending a naked photo. And by the way, boys do that too, not just girls. And so I got to spend the week with people that are absolutely at the very top of those organizations. Along with it, I was invited to speak with a group of people across the United States that are the California Sex Crimes Investigators Association. And what a privilege it is to meet these people. Along with that, in our movie, okay, get that straight, our movie, was an investigator for the Daniel Harris case. And his name's Paul. And I got to have dinner with Paul. Paul has been a sex crimes investigator for Homeland Security for 16 years. He's the guy that does this hard work. He's the guy that goes in to the dark web to find the worst of the worst. And he's the guy that tries to track the victims of trafficking and sextortion all over the world. He's the guy that tries to rescue the victims whose pictures are sent over and over and over. And what an incredible experience it was for me. First of all, I knew most of his cases. He is one of the people that developed the processes to get a search warrant to go into the dark web and get the vilest of pedophiles. And so that prosecution will end up in court. Most of you never think about how that works and what kind of person that it takes to be able to go in that dark world every day to save your child or your grandchild. That man is my hero, and I met a room full of them last week. And what a privilege I had of being able to know these people and know what they do and know how hard it is on their soul, because I also work with this kind of crime. What a week I had. Folks, we're up against that break. I'm going to ask you to stay with us, and we're going to be right back.
Custom Service Systems, a proud supporter of Million Kids, is a family-owned and operated commercial cleaning company servicing the Inland Empire and surrounding areas since 1974. CSS takes pride in their ability to maintain the business facilities they serve and their long-lasting relationships with their valued clients. CSS provides a variety of cleaning systems customized to client needs, including deep cleaning and disinfectant to be COVID-19 compliant. From basic office cleaning to windows and floors, CSS will clean up your mess so you don't have to stress. Custom Service Systems cares about families and communities and wants to give back. Custom Service Systems are proud supporters of Million Kids to keep kids safe from predators. If you need the best cleaning services for your business or corporation, contact Custom Service Systems at cssclean.com. Again, cssclean.com, or call 951-781-9345. That's 951-781-9345. You will know you found the best. Custom Service Systems.
Hello, this is Opal Singleton of Exploited Crimes and Technology. Let me tell you about my friend Doris Anderson at Remax Realty in Upland. She is amazing. She's kind, she's patient, but she listens. And she's informed, and she will help you with your real estate transaction in a way that works for you. Doris, in full disclosure, often supports the work of Million Kids because she cares about young people. But she knows how to analyze a market, how to market a property, and how to find just the right transaction for both buyers and sellers. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate or invest in income property, contact Doris Anderson at Remax Realty, 951-733-8899. That's 951-733-8899. 951-733-8899.
This message is all about Million Kids, the organization that helps locate missing kids throughout Southern California and educates to keep kids safe from predators. Million Kids educates school administrators, teachers, parents, and teenagers how predators identify a potential victim and the methods they use to recruit innocent kids. BMW of Riverside is a proud supporter of Million Kids. Visit BMW of Riverside at the Adams Street exit off the 91 freeway or click bmwofriverside.com.
AM 590. The Answer.
Hello and welcome back to Exploited Crimes and Technology. This is Opal Singleton, and I'm sharing with you just about an incredible week I had. You know, the one side, my heart just breaks for Ukraine and what is going on over there, and I'm such a fixer, and I want our leadership to be leaders and to fix this. Whenever I see a story where somebody has been violated and they're being violated by the thousands, I say to myself, what can I do differently? And I've done that with child sex crimes now for about 15 years. So to be able to have the week that I had this last week, where I spent the week with sex crimes investigators from all over California and some from Washington, D.C., I want you to know that you'll never probably know who they are. It was a privilege for me. I got to be invited into that select group because I've been doing it all my life. It seems like it's a very long life when you're dealing with those kinds of crime. But I do want you to know that there are heroes amongst us. And you won't know who they are. They might be right there in a cocktail party with you, or maybe in your Sunday school class. You don't know. But I know these people. They're men and women who do what it takes to try to save a child that's being exploited somehow, whether it's in a pornography site, whether it's by some family member that's there, whether it's by a gang guy that they met on the internet and thought was really cool and liked their tattoos and met up with them and poof, they're gone. The people that investigate those crimes, it preys on your soul. You have to see the crime to be able to investigate that crime. And I'm going to tell you this. I believe that we here in the Inland Empire have the best of those kind of people. But I met a lot of them all over California. And it's important because oftentimes these criminals move around because they're recruiting on the internet and they're picking up our kids off those dating sites and, those hookup sites, or even through texting with some sort of stranger. They will often be, the victim might be in our area, but the perpetrator's in Sausalito or, Redding or one of those places. And so those criminal investigators have to work together, especially with the internet. But one of the things that I want to be able to share with you is how proud I am of Riverside and San Bernardino, in the district attorney's office, in the sheriff department, in the Riverside PD, and the Hemet and Beaumont PD, and the other PDs, Rialto, Fontana, San Bernardino, that do what it takes to protect our children. They get very little glory because most of the time they can't announce who they are. They get very little honor and recognition, and they see a whole lot of very bad stuff. So I would ask you, one, to pray for sex crimes investigators. Two, I would ask you to think about talking with your leadership in your city, in your county, to make sure our team has the right tools. Whenever I see us defunding police, I just cringe. I think how short-sighted that is, because if there's ever a time in our life, we ought to be funding huge technology budgets for law enforcement all over our counties. It is right now. Because this whole thing about, okay, all cops do is go out to the donut shop. I can tell you the cops I know, if they go to the donut shop, they deserve it after what they have seen in combating their crime. But what I do know is that we could be so much more effective with technology. Let me just share with that what that means. Think about a website called Jasmine. Okay, that is a sex website where you go on and pay a membership. They are generating on average about $80 million a month. Now, that is not going for the good of the world, folks. That is going to organized crime. And so just one website, and there are millions. And you look at the amount of money made right here in the Inland Empire in sex trafficking, and that money is being laundered back to either China or Mexico or Guatemala or Brazil and even Eastern European countries, including Russia. And I say to myself, they get richer, and our task forces are struggling just to get enough money to fund the personnel, let alone the technology that it takes to make all this happen. While the bad guy gets bigger, we're not investing in technology. I would say that 95%, I'm making this number up, this is not research, but it's my gut, and I tell you, I think I'm right. 95% of our crimes are first investigated online, and they take place online, and we need a lot of advanced technology to be able to go against criminal enterprises that are getting bigger and bigger and bigger while we still have old-fashioned technology. This is insane. These are our kids at risk here. So in closing out today, thank you for just letting me share with you on a personal level. If you want to write to me, you can do that at opal, OPAL, at millionkids.org. If you want to report a local crime like a sex crime, a child sex crime, or human trafficking, or labor trafficking. That's another one. We're seeing a lot of unaccompanied people that are being labor trafficked. You can report that at 951-776-1099. But you can also report it anonymously at the National Center for Missing Exploited Children. And that number is 1-888-3737-888. Well, I only have a couple of minutes left, but I just want to thank each and every one of you that have supported the work of Million Kids. You know, we would never have that movie to Santa Barbara and getting the visibility from all over the world that we're starting to get it. We're almost there. We're almost ready to release it. We're just a couple of contracts short, so hang tight with us. But I want to thank you for donating to Million Kids and supporting our work and being able to help us support these sex crimes investigators and what they do in getting their cases and finding the leads and protecting the child and going after the perpetrator. We can't do this without you. If you're willing to support our work, you can do that by going to millionkids.org, MILLION, millionkids.org. Hit that /donate button. You can donate that way, or you can send us an old-fashioned check. I'm old-fashioned enough to like those checks, okay? I often go to the post office myself and go, praise God. I appreciate it so much that you all would support this work. This is our kids. This is our grandkids. And there's a lot we can't fix in the world, and Ukraine is one of them. I'm praying for the folks of Ukraine, but I also am praying for all those fine people that I met that help investigate your sex crimes. And I'm praying for the people that support us and being able to get people to give us the leads to send along in there so that our kids won't be trafficked and that our kids will be educated about where naked photos go and why you don't want to. Once our kids understand how that internet is made and where those photos go, and especially once they see sextortion, the hidden pandemic, I guarantee you they will think a million times over before they send that naked photo. So one more time, the website for that film is Sextortion, the Hidden Pandemic. You can get to it at sextortionfilm.com, and you can go on and see the trailer right now. I am just chomping at the bit to get you the full movie because I'm blown away. The people that went to the Santa Barbara Film Festival that saw it just walked out of there saying, wow, that is powerful. And it is powerful, and we need to get it released. Got a lot of work to do yet. I'm still raising the funding to get all the support materials. Homeland Security and NCMEC are going to help us get it in the schools. I still got to come up with all the funding for the editing and the support materials. We're about halfway there, so we're getting there, and I'm not going to quit till I get it done. So I want to thank each and every one of you. It's amazing to me. I'm out in the public every now and then. I'll run into somebody and they go, oh, I never miss your show. Oh, I so much appreciate that. And I never thought I'd be on the radio. And some days I wonder if I know what the heck I'm doing. But it is you guys that make this work. It's because you listen, you get involved, you email, you text, you follow us at millionkids.org, you donate. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Folks, we're in a hard time right now. Put your arms around your mate and your kids and tell them how much you love them and how proud you are. I'll see you next Saturday at 3 o'clock on AM 590, The Answer.
Societal Shift, A World Without Borders and a Home Without Walls. This is the most important book you will read this year, especially if you have children or grandchildren. We are living at the most important time in all of history. In 2020, the entire world will be connected by internet, more than 6 billion people coming together. Technology will provide many great advantages for our kids, but a world without borders for our kids is also a world without borders for pimps, predators, pedophiles, cartels, and organized crime. It is a home without walls because 87% of the kids sleep with their phone. It is the greatest societal experiment of all time. Our kids are technology geniuses, and their parents are technophobic. Some are techno-impotent. New apps come with no warnings on how a predator will use them against our kids. Advancing technologies like encrypted messaging, vaporware, artificial intelligence, cryptocurrency, and the dark net will challenge law enforcement, teachers, and parents to keep kids safe. Recent research states that 9,000 kids a day are being blackmailed with a naked photo, and 58% will meet their predator. It is indeed a societal shift, and one in which most parents are unprepared. If you are a parent or grandparent, teacher, counselor, or social worker, please take time to read Societal Shift. Only $18.99 plus $6 shipping. Order today at millionkids.org. That's millionkids, millionkids.org. It'll be the greatest gift you can give your family and yourself. Order Societal Shift today. Million Kids takes checks and credit cards. Opal Singleton, the author, will personally sign the book and send it to you. Again, go to millionkids.org and order Societal Shift today. Join Million Kids. Keep our kids safe from predators.